Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing great. And in today's video, we are going to discuss paper 2 of exam October 2021. The first question that we have over here is the diagram shows a square split into congruent triangles. And the meaning of congruent over here is equal or the same in size and length. Work out the percentage of the square that is shaded. You're going to find over here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But 5 out of how many? You're going to find that it's 5 out of 6, 7, 8. So 5 out of 8. In order to do a percentage, we agreed before many times that you need to get the fraction, which is 5 over 8. But at the end, you must multiply by 100. This is going to turn it for you into a fraction. So you're going to write 5 over 8, and at the end you multiply by 100 in your calculator. It is going to give you exactly 62.5%. Question 2 is showing you that this diamond or this rhombus or square or whatever is a multiple of 8, and the asterisk is a factor of 15. So here they're telling you that the rhombus plus the asterisk is equal to 45. Find the value of this and the value of the asterisk. So the first thing that you need to think about is that this is a multiple of 8, this is a factor of 15, then multiples of 8 are actually, you're going to find that we have over here 8, you're going to find that we have 16, you're going to find that we have 24, and so on with the rest of the times tables. But wait, let's stop over here. You should notice that definitely this one is going to become a 40, and the other one, which is a factor of 15, is going to be a 5. So this is 40, this is 5. The 40 is a multiple of 8, and the factor of 15 is going to be a 5. Adding them up is going to give you that 45. Question 3, the diagram shows a postcard with a width of 10 centimeters. The ratio of width to length of the postcard is 4 to 5. So they're telling you here that the length is 4 and the width is the 5. Sorry, the opposite. The width is the 4 and the length is the 5. All right, we have over here that the width is 10. Length is the long one. Okay, so length is always the long one. So we need to find here the length. Work out the length of the postcard. You can just do simply 10 divided by 4, and then you multiply it by 5. So 10 divided by 4, then you multiply it by 5, is going to give you 12.5 centimeters. And this is question A. Question B, they want you to work out the area. So the area is going to be length times width, which is 12.5 multiplied by 10 is going to give you exactly 125 centimeters squared. In question 4, they're requesting from you to write an integer on each line to complete the equation. So here we got 9x and we've got 7x. So definitely we need 2x more with the 7x in order to become 9x. And here we've got also -6, but I've got the answer is actually -3. So what is the number that you add to -6? It gives you -3. You're going to find that it's 3. 3 minus 6 is -3. Write the ratio 150 to 250 in its simplest form. We need to divide both by 10, so 15 to 25. Still not the simplest form. Dividing by 5 is going to give you 3 to 5. So it's 3 to 5. Here is part of a bus timetable. The 15:03 bus from Southend is 23 minutes late when it arrives at Stansted Airport or whatever. So here, let's work out the time the bus arrives. So they're saying to you that the 15:03 bus, so the 15:03 bus, which is this one, from Southend is 23 minutes late when it arrives at the airport, which is over here. What time does it arrive? So it is 16:44, but 23 later. 23 minutes later. Okay, this is what they said. It's late. So it is gonna arrive exactly, gonna find out that this is we need here 16 minutes exactly. 16 minutes to reach 17 o'clock, right? Yes, but we need 7 more minutes. So it is 17:07. I just added the 23 minutes. Okay, so now 17:07. This is the time it is going to arrive. All right, next, you're going to find them asking here about Rajiv, who travels from Rayleigh or whatever. I'm very bad actually at pronouncing names of places, to Stansted Airport. He arrives at this place at 14:45. Work out the number of minutes Rajiv waits for the next bus. So he's traveling, it is saying, from Ray until Stans. So from Ray to Stans. And he arrives, so from Ray to Stans to the airport, and he arrives at Ray 14:45. So 14:45, he arrives over here. 14:45 is here, right? It's after 14:35. So you're going to find over here that we have 15:35 is the next train. So the next train over here is going to be 15:37. Work out the number of minutes Rajiv waits. So do not be tricked actually by this. They're not requesting from you the time of the next train. No, they are requesting from you how long he is going to take until he takes the next train. So he arrives at 14:45. We need to see from 14:45 until 15:37. How long is Rajiv going to take? So we need to calculate now the time or the duration from this time until 15:37. You're going to find exactly that you have 1 whole hour, right? But actually, it is not just 1 full hour. You're going to find that you're going to need to go backwards exactly 8 minutes, which is going to give you 52 minutes. You got many different ways to do this. You can say from 14:45, I've got 15 minutes until I reach 15 exactly. And then from 15 until 15:37, I've got 37 minutes. It's paper too. You can use the calculator or you can do it mentally. 37 plus 15 is going to give you exactly 52 minutes. Question C says to you here that Oliver travels by bus from Ray to Stansted Airport. His flight leaves at 5:15 p.m., but we do not actually have in the schedule 24-hour time, the 12-hour timing. We have the 24-hour clock. So let's convert this into 24-hour clock. So his flight leaves at 17:15. He needs to arrive at the airport more than 1 hour before the flight leaves. So more than 1 hour before the flight leaves. So he needs to arrive before 16:15 at the airport. So let's go up and see about this. Before 16:15. All right, here you go. You're gonna find that the only time or the first time that is before 16:15, which is this one. He needs to arrive at this timing. So the time that he's supposed to leave or take the bus from Rayleigh is actually 14:35 in order to arrive at 15:41. So the bus that he needs to take is 14:35. 14:35. The next question here is saying to you, complete this table of values for y equals 10x minus 15. -1, you're going to just substitute x with -1, so it's going to give you -10 minus 15, which is -25. And here is 10 times 1, which is 10 minus 15 is going to give you exactly -5. All right, let's continue. They wanted to use the table to draw a graph of y equals 10x minus 15. Unfortunately, over here, the squares are not clear, but let's try together. From -1, we need to reach -25. So from -1, I'm gonna need to reach here -25. It is much clearer in your book. 1, -5. So here from 1 to -5 is almost here. From 3 to 15, so from 3 until I reach 15 is going to be almost here. Then at the end, you just to connect with a straight line. Let me get a straight line. And definitely we answered this question with a ruler and a pencil. Here you go. That's it. All right. Next question here says to you that Mia buys a car for $12,500. She sells it to Chen for $16,000. Calculate Mia's percentage profit. We agreed about the percentage profit, about the percentage interest, the percentage change, or the percentage loss. All of them have the same rule, which is absolute change over old value, then you times by 100. Absolute change is what? I'm going to do 16,000 minus 12,500 over the old value, which is 12,500. Then you multiply by 100. Use the calculator. It's paper 2. So it's going to give you here the numerator. You're going to find that it's 3,500 exactly over 12,500. Then at the end, you multiply by 100 equals 28%. Chen sells the car to Gabriella. He makes a loss of 500. So Chen bought it for how much? Look at this. Mia buys the car. She sells it to Chen for 16,000. So Chen actually gets the car for what? Chen buys buys the car for what? For 16,000. This is the price that he took it from Mia. Okay, so 16,000, but he sells the car to Gabriella. He makes a loss of 5%. This is unit 3, which is the percentage decrease. So here, how are we going to answer this? You got two methods. The first method using the multiplier, you can say 16,000 multiplied by 0.95 equals, and then you use the calculator to find this, which will give you 15,200. So this is the amount of money that Gabriella pays, 15,200. Or someone else might calculate 5% of the 16,000. So you can do this. This is another method. 5% of 16,000, which is equal to 5%, 800. Then you minus it from 16,000. Is going to give you also the same value exactly, $15,200. Both ways will lead to the same answer. The diagram shows 3 points, A, B, and C. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of the line AC. So A over here is 0, -2. And C is 4, 4. We wanted the midpoint between 0, -2 and the 4, 4. We agreed that you add x1 plus x2, and then you divide by 2. 0 plus 4 is 4, divided by 2 is going to give you 2. While -2 plus 4 is going to give you 2, divided by 2 is going to give you 1. So it's 2, 1. This is the midpoint of the line AC. The next question says to you that ABCD is a square. Write down the coordinates of D. All right, let's get back over here. The saying to you, and let me erase this. All right. We know that that's the square, there are two pairs of parallel lines, right? So knowing that this is A, B, C, D, so definitely D is going in this direction, right? But how far is it going to be? It is going to be as far as A from B, which means I'm going to check over here from B. I go down one, two, three, four, five down. So I need to go five down and then one right. The same thing exactly from C until you reach D. Five down, one, two, three, four, five down, and then one right. It is over here. So point D is 5, -1. Write each of these as a single fraction. Give each answer in its simplest form. This one, the denominators are the same, so 6a minus a is 5a. And this one over here, I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2, so it is 2 over 2c plus 1 over 2c, which is 3 over 2c. So 3 over 2c. A man has a mass of 120 kilograms. A bus has a mass of 17 tons. Whatever how we pronounce this, it is a beetle can lift an object 850 times its own body mass. Work out the number of buses the man could lift if he could lift 850 times his own body mass. All right, the man is actually 120 kilograms. If he can lift 850 times of his own body mass, then I'm going to multiply this by 850. So it is 850 multiplied by 120, which is 102,000 kilograms. This is what the man can lift. Yeah, definitely they're supposing if he could lift 850 times his own body mass. So that means he can lift up to 102,000 kilograms. But the question is, how many buses can he lift? So we know that one bus is 17 tons, which is 17,000, right? So I'm going to do what the man can lift, which is 102,000. So this is what he can lift, divided by the mass of one bus, which is 17,000. And this is going to tell me how many buses he can lift. So I'm going to do here 102,000 divided by 17,000 gives you six buses. So six buses. Again, all what I've done, finding what the man can lift. He's 120 kilograms, but he can lift 850 times more than, or 850 times of his own body mass. So he can lift 102,000 kilograms. How many buses can he lift? So it is 102,000 kilograms divided by 17,000 kilograms. The ton is 1,000 kilograms, so divide by 17,000. Hassan makes a scale drawing of his bedroom. He uses the scale 1 to 40. Hassan's bed is represented by a rectangle 4.5 centimeters long on his drawing. Work out the actual length of Hassan's bed. All right, they're saying to you that the scale is 1 to 40. All right, but they're saying it to you also, which means 1 centimeter is 40 centimeters. Hassan's bed is represented by a rectangle 4.5 centimeters long on his drawing. So 4.5 centimeters, so it is 4.5 multiplied by 40 to get the real length. If you wanted the actual length, then I'm going to take that 4.5 centimeters multiplied by 40, which is going to give you 180 centimeters. Carlos builds a wooden frame. He needs two 45-centimeter lengths of wood and two 60 centimeters lengths of wood. Carlos has a 2-meter length of wood. So let's look at this. He needs two 45 centimeters lengths of wood. So as if you're saying that this is 45 and this is 45. And he needs also two 60s. So 60 and 60. All right, but he has only 2 meters, which is how many centimeters? 200 centimeters. So you're going to say here that Carlos has 200 centimeters. but he needs 60 and 60 and 45 and 45, or 60 times 2 plus 45 times 2. You're going to find here 120 plus 90, which is 210 centimeters. So, but he needs, so no, he doesn't have enough wood to build the frame. Two coffee shops recorded the different types of coffee they sell in a day. The pie charts show their results. The coffee shop at the train, which is this one, the train station, sells more cups of Americano than the coffee. So we're talking here about Americano than the coffee shop. Work out how many more cups of Americano are sold. How many more? All right. To find at the train station, he sells a 60 degrees out of how many? The full circle is 360. So 60 degrees out of 360 of, which means times, right? Of 480 cups. While at the coffee shop, it is 115 over 360, 115 degrees over 360 degrees of the 144. So we need to calculate both of them, and then we find the difference because they said how many more. So let's do the first one over here. They said 60 over 360 got multiplied by 480. So this one, 80 cups. While the other one over here is 115 over 360 multiplied by 144, which is 46 cups. The difference is 34 cups. This is the difference. Let's continue. Here is a table showing some algebraic expressions and what they mean in words. Complete the table. One has been done for you. Add 3 to x, so 3 plus x or x plus 3. Both of them are the same. Then divide by 7. And this one here means add 2 to x, then multiply by 9. Samira writes an algebraic expression, which means subtract 6 from x, then square. So do not say 6 minus x. No, you're subtracting the 6 from the x, so it is x minus 6. This is what we mean by subtract 6. So it is x minus 6, and then you square it. This is the algebraic expression that they are requesting. A security code is made up from one number and then one shape. Complete the sample space diagram. So here, this means 1 and a square, and this means 1 and a circle, 2 and a square, 2 and a circle. So here, we don't know the number. Well, actually, you're supposed to know it from the top, from the heading of the question. So we know that this is 3 and this is 4. So if this is 3 and a square, 3 and a triangle, 4 and here a circle, and then you have here 4 and a triangle. Eva says, the number in my security code is even. So the number of her security code is even. Let me just highlight this or just underline them. So this one could be this or could be that, right? So which is how many? We've got here 3 and here 3. So it could be any of the 6 because she said the number in my security code is even. So it could be any of the 6. Ahmed chooses an even number, just like her, and a shape at random. Find the probability that Ahmed chooses Eva's security code. Well, Eva's security code is actually 1 out of 6. We don't know which one exactly that Ahmad is going to choose. We don't even know which one that Eva chose. So the probability that Ahmad chooses like Eva, Ahmad is going to choose definitely one out of the six that are possible over here. One out of the six that have even numbers. Here, 0.8 multiplied by what is going to give you something that is smaller than 0.8. Well, they said to you here, write a positive number in each box to make each statement true. So there are so many things that are possible, so many possible answers. So let's agree on one thing. If you multiply by greater than one whole, then definitely the answer should be bigger than 0.8. But if you multiply by smaller than one whole, then definitely the answer is going to be smaller than 0.8. So any decimal smaller than 1. You can just write, for example, 0.9 is accepted. Any decimal that is smaller than 1 is accepted. All right. Here, dividing by any number, well, normally and usually is going to make it smaller than 1.3, right? So just divide by any number that you want. Any number that is greater than 1. Anything that is greater than 1 in division is going to make this smaller because we know that this is the nature of division. Division makes numbers smaller, right? As long as it is greater than 1. Okay, so here you can divide by anything that is greater than 1. You can divide by 2, divide by 3, divide by 3.5, whatever you want to divide by, it just must be greater than 1 whole. 8 divided by what is going to give you an answer that is greater than 80? Well, division over here, and it just gives me a greater answer. Well, this is weird. No, not actually going to. It's not weird. As long as you're dividing by something that is smaller than 1, then definitely the answer is going to be greater than the 8. But here they're not just saying greater than 8. We know, Mr., that dividing by 0.1 is the same as multiplying by 10. So dividing by 0.1 is going to give you 80 exactly. 8 divided by 0.1 is going to give you 80 exactly. But we want something that is greater than 80. Then I want an answer that is smaller than 0.1. Anything smaller than 0.1 could be 0.09, which is smaller than 0.1, 0.01 itself, which means that you're multiplying by 100. We learned this before, so let me erase this not to confuse you. We learned that if you divide by 0.01, it is the same as multiplying by 100, right? So this is one thing that is going to give you an answer that is greater than 80. All right. Minibuses are used to take 142 people to a wedding. One minibus can hold 17 people. Work out the number of minibuses used. So here they're saying to you that minibuses are used to take 142, but one minibus can hold 17. So I need to do 142 divided by 17 to find the number of minibuses that are used. So let's do this. 142 people, but they're going to be over 617, which is going to give you exactly what? 8 point a lot of stuff, a lot of numbers. Don't write just 8 buses, because if you write 8 buses, that means that you're leaving some people out. You need to take them all. So to take 142 people, so no one is left out. So you must round this up. We're going to need 9 buses. The last bus is not going to be complete. Yes, exactly, but we still need 9 buses to take the 142 people. Angelique finds the coordinates on the straight line y equals to x plus 4. She finds the x coordinate from a given y coordinate. Draw a ring around the correct function to find x. This is just another way of saying to you make x the subject. So to make x the subject, we're going to switch as we learned to x plus 4 equals y, but I'm going to send the positive 4 to the other side, negative 4. So it is 2x equals y minus 4. But now I still need to find x, so I'm going to send the 2 to the other side, division. So it is x equals y minus 4 over 2, which is the same as y minus 4 divided by 2. Okay, so simply they just wanted you to make x the subject. That's it. To find x, make x the subject. Naomi draws a tessellation using only one type of regular polygon. Three of these polygons meet at one point in her tessellation. Name the regular polygon Naomi uses. All right, we know that meeting at a point makes what? Must make what? Must make 360 degrees, right? So what is that shape that has one interior? They said three of it, right? They said three of that shape, which is three of the regular polygon. They said this. Look, where is it? Three of these polygons. So one interior must be equal to what? 360 divided by 3 that they want, which is 120 degrees. What is that shape that has one interior angle as 120 degrees? Well, you should know it that it is a hexagon because you went through this number a lot, so many times. You should know that the hexagon is the shape that has 120 degrees, as that the interior angle is 120 degrees. But if you don't know it, I know that the interior is 120, so exterior is 60 degrees. What is that shape? We know that n equals 360 over exterior, which is 60. It is going to give you a shape with exactly six sides, which is a hexagon. But actually, you do not need all of that. All what you need is what? Just to know, once you know that it is 120 degrees, so we know that this is a hexagon. Okay, let's continue. Use the method of trial and improvement to find a solution, the solution of x cubed plus 3x equals 20. All right, let's try, for example, here 2.3 and see if it's going to reach 20 or become close to 20 or not. So I'm going to use over here 2.3 cubed plus 3 multiplied by 2.3 equals 19.0. Okay, so 19.067. I'm going to make it bigger because I need to reach 20, so I'm going to make it 2.4. 2.4 plus 2 plus 3 multiplied by 2.4. You're going to find that, oh, it is 21. So when I try 2.4x is 2.4, it told me 21.024. So, Mister, I know that it is in between, right? It's something in between. So let's try 2.35. It is the number that is in between. I'm going to remove this and write instead of 2.4, I'm going to make it 2.35. And right over here also 2.35 squared, a cubed plus 3 times 2.35 equals, whoa, okay, 20.028 after rounding it. Okay, so we know for sure now, I know for sure that x must be a number that is greater than 2.3. Look at that, because 20 is in between here and here, right? Between this and this. These are the closest. It is between 2.3 and 2.35. Rounding this, then I know for sure that it is something that is smaller than 2.35. Something that is smaller than 2.35 will be rounded to one decimal place. to become 2.3. Again, I know, yeah, mister, that 2.35 will not give me 20. It will give me 20 point some other stuff. I know for sure that it's not 2.3, it is bigger than 2.3, but less than 2.35. Any value that is between 2.3 and 2, which is 2.30, and 2.35 will be rounded to 2.3. It could be 2.31, 2.32, 2.34 until 2.34, right? Or 2.34, whatever. I know for sure that any number that is between this and that, rounded to one decimal place, is going to be 2.3. Here they're saying to you that Safia wants to find out if taller students have bigger hand spans. She wants to draw a scatter diagram. She collects data from 15 students using this data collection sheet. She found the height and the tally of the height, and she found also here hand span and the tally for hand span. Give one reason why this is not a good data collection sheet for her to use. Well, I don't know actually which height is with which hand span. So she's saying over there that she wants to find if taller students have bigger hand spans. How can I know? They are not connected. This data collection are not connected. So the data of height is not connected or linked with the hand span data. They are not connected. You don't know which height is with which hand span. So design a suitable data collection. All what you need to do is just doing what? You can write over here height and hand span. And you start connecting them. That's it. So now I know, for example, that here is, if I write here 115, for example, you don't need to write this, by the way, and I write here that the hand span is 12 centimeters. So now I know which is with which. So when she draws the scatter graph, she draws it accurately and she has individual data. Another way you could have said this is for grouped data. It is for grouped data. She should have drawn, and you add, she should have collected individual data, not grouped data for that scatter graph. A fish tank in the shape of a cuboid has length 60 centimeters, depth 30 centimeters, and height 30 centimeters. So they're saying it to you, find the capacity of the fish tank in liters. All right, so we're going to do this here. 60 multiplied by 30 multiplied by 30. So 60 times 30 times 30, which is going to give you exactly 60 multiplied by 900. Using the calculator from the very beginning, it's not going to make any difference. You're going to find that it's 54,000 centimeters cubed, right? But they want it in liters. You should remember the twins. We agreed 54,000 centimeters cubed is the same as 54,000 milliliter. So to get into liters, you divide by 1,000. So 54 liters exactly. The fish tank contains 47.7 liters of water. Find the height of the water. Give your answer in centimeters. All right, so they're saying to you, let's first convert this. 47.7, it is actually supposed to be 47,700 centimeters cubed, right? This is what it contains. They want you here to find the height. Why didn't they say any other numbers? Because we know that it's 60 by 30, but until what height exactly, we don't know. So it is 60 times 30, definitely filled 60 by 30. But how high, we don't know. So times height equals the 47,700 centimeters cubed. So 60 by 30 is going to give you exactly 1,800 height equals 47,700. Dividing this by 1,800, let's do it. 47,700 divided by 1,800 equals, it's going to give you exactly 26.5 centimeters. A box contains pens of different colors. Yuri takes a pen from the box at random. The probabilities of him taking a pen colored red or blue or green are shown in the table. The probabilities of him taking, all right, I read this. Here, the probability is 0.4, 0.15, 0.25. There must be more than three different colors of pen in the box. Explain how the probabilities show Yuri is correct. This is what Yuri says. Well, you're going to say that yes, there must be more than three because the probability of the three colors do not add to one. They do not add to one, or they do not add to 100%. They must add up to 100%, but they don't actually. Here, they're saying to you that BC is 5 centimeters. We have all the measurements over here. With DC is 15 and AC is 6 centimeters. They want you to find the length of BD. BD is actually this straight line. Let me just draw it. This straight line over here. This orange line that I've just drawn. All right, they want you to find this length. Okay, Mister, we know that this here is 5, and the kite, let me, what's this? The kite has these two pairs of angles are of sides are equal, and these two pairs are also equal, right? And also, so this is being bisected. This is 6 centimeters, all of it. So this is only 3 centimeters, and the other one is 3 centimeters. Can we find BD? Yes, we can, because we know that this is a right angle. Okay. And I have the two legs. I have actually not the two legs. I have the hypotenuse and one of the two legs. Can I find the other leg? Yes, you should know that a squared equals c squared minus b squared, which is using the Pythagoras. So a squared equals c squared, which is 25, minus b squared, which is 9. So a squared is equal to 16. So a is what? Is 4. So now we know that b, this one over here, is exactly 4 centimeters. But I still don't have the rest of BD. So I'm going to do the same thing exactly over there with the rest of BD. Let's keep it up there. All right. Following the same rule exactly, A, this is in triangle, no, it doesn't have a name, all right. A squared equals a c squared minus b squared. And I'm going to say a squared this time equals the c over here, which is the hypotenuse, is 15 squared, minus the b over here, which is the 3 squared. And you get the root of that. So a equals the root of all of this. You can just find the 225 minus 9, or you can just write it on the calculator this way exactly and find a. So let's do it. Root of 15 squared minus 3 squared, which is 9, equals SD 14.69, which is 14.7. Let's make sure that we are right. I did here 15 squared, which is the hypotenuse, minus the 9, and then we got the square root of them. So it's square root of 225 minus 9 equals 14.7. All right, so the length of BD is 4 plus 14.7, which is 18.7. 18.7. Let me erase this line that we drew. 18.7. That's it. Thank you so much, everyone, and see you in another video.